On today's episode of Wrong Side, we dive into a great week one in college football, headlined by a fantastic win in Columbus over the Longhorns. Julian Sand wins his debut. A big, massive trade rocks the NFL world last week that was not included in last week's episode, and you'll get my full thoughts of the disaster in Dallas. I'll look ahead to week one in the NFL. Clutch moment of the week, sponsored by Shore Metals and Outside the Line. In a world full of champions, we find ourselves on the wrong side. Welcome back, Wrongsiders. Happy Wrong Side Wednesday. Today is September 3rd. We're one day away from the NFL season about to begin in Philadelphia. It's going to be an ugly one. But before we get to the NFL, a massive weekend in Columbus. We're going to talk a lot of college football, a lot of games that we had last week on our docket. But what a weekend. What a start to the year. Jake's been on campus. Jake's doing his thing. He gets a great first weekend back for his junior year. No chain smokers. I don't think that was his fraternity, but looked like a fun weekend. The environment looked awesome. Game day, big noon, obviously the game. Take us through the day. Take us through the 14-7 win. What was the weekend like? I was hearing on Friday a lot of burnt orange. Looked like no burnt orange in the stadium. Looked like there was actually zero. So how was the day? How was the weekend? What was going on out there in Columbus?
Yeah, being on the grounds of Columbus, obviously ahead of a big week, certain events are all around campus. First week of school, this is a great way to start. On Friday, had three classes. Had a class with Mr. Head Top Touchdown, Carnell Tate on Friday. He actually ended up sitting right next to me by accident.
Okay.
Got there early. He was there early, of course. Was locked in. He was, a couple words said to each other, "Hey, hello, good morning," and then he was all business. He was paying attention in class, but he also had his iPad up and he was watching his film, so he's ready to go. And I literally texted you guys and said, "This guy's so dialed," and he ended up scoring this weekend. But no, on Friday had a few classes. Then ended up having our Nike Victory Run event on campus. Partnered with Ohio State Nike, basically just to kick off Saturday's game. We had about 1,600 to 2,000 people there.
Wow.
It was great turnout. Definitely something that will definitely be done again on our campus, and they're going to do the same thing
next
year when it's in Austin.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be cool. Hopefully I'll get to go out there for that one. But no, that was Friday. Kind of called it basically an early night. I was home by 10 o'clock. I was in bed by 10:30. Went to bed, and as one does as a college student, you're up early when it's a big game the next day. I would say the Foster's house was up around 4:45, 5 o'clock.
Oh boy.
Speakers were rolling, music was going, Hell's Bells, Salvation Army, all Seven Nation Army, all those are up and around. Not Salvation Army. Seven Nation Army, Hell's Bells, Welcome to the Jungle. All those were playing in the house. Guys were getting ready to roll. Breakfast was cooking. We're getting our jerseys on. Got over there to Block around 7:30. Got to Block, was there for a while. I left around 11.
Okay.
Left around 11. Wanted to get there early. Met Carter outside of Big Bar. We walked to the stadium together like we always do. Walked into the stadium, got our towels. I actually, shout out me, I got some extra towels at the end of the game. So I have 4. So I have one for you. And
nice.
I'll bring one to mom and dad, and I'll give one to Joe as well if Joe didn't get one. So
nice.
I have extra towels, so that was nice. Got to the stadium, got to my seat. It was toasty. It was a warm game.
Looked
Got in
beautiful on
there.
TV.
It was a nice day, but it was warm. Got in there, perfect timing. Got to see the banner revealed. Got to see Lee Corso final pick. Got to see the band come out. Always exciting to see the band. The best damn band in the land. And then we were there. We were ready to rock. We obviously we ran out first, same way as always. Music playing. They played the hype video, and that stadium was rolling. Brutus got everybody pumped up. It was just a great experience to start, and then kickoff happened, and first quarter, as I said, you can clip it from last week. I said we weren't going to score until the second quarter, and what
Yeah, you
happened?
did.
We didn't score to the second quarter. So I mean I was 1 for 1 right there on the day of picks, and
But your X Factor really shit the bed.
X Factor shit the bed. X Factor shit the bed. I agree, but the second quarter not scoring till the second was, I figured that was going to happen. You saw two really good defenses. Um, ended up obviously staying the entire game. Thankfully, by the second quarter, there was shade where I was sitting, so it was
Nice.
perfect for the rest of the game. Didn't get up once. Got in the stadium, didn't get up the rest of the time. Stayed in my seat the entire time. No bathroom breaks, no snacks, no waters.
Wow.
Fully locked in on the game. Um,
And a
besides
good game.
Carter next to, yeah, a good game too. Besides Carter next to me, I'm high fiving random fans throughout the game, as one
Was Logan
does.
working or?
Logan was working. Yep, Logan was up in the press box. He was in the press box this weekend. But no, it was overall great experience. Obviously, to get the W was even better. Got fired up. The whole crowd was kind of pissed off when we didn't get the when they went, number one, when they called the touchdown, the
Yeah.
catch,
Well,
and number
yeah.
and number two on the pick. Everyone was pretty pissed off about that one.
Yeah.
But Carter and I looked at each other and we were like, you know what? It's okay they called it a touchdown, because if they didn't call it a touchdown and we still ended up scoring on that drive, Twitter would have went crazy and would have said you guys handed that score. It would have they wouldn't have given us as much credit as we deserved. So I was okay with them scoring. At the end of the day, we got the win. The job was definitely taken care of. I think
Nice.
that was
I got
like
a couple questions I would say before we hop into all the game film. Obviously, okay. So,
Sure, go ahead. Questions.
how packed was campus? I mean, the game day.
It was ridiculous. It
Looked like
it was unreal.
Nothing around that stadium. I mean, I couldn't imagine walking in. Hopefully, you had your ticket on your phone. There was no ticket issue.
Had my ticket on my phone. But it was kind of a disaster walking into the stadium. I walked the same way every time. We walked all the way up to, what is that, 18th by the Buffalo Wild Wings. You make the left by some of those dorms. You kind of pass Fisher. You go by like the JO North, and then you walk kind of that way.
You go
and then you're in the
angle.
stadium.
Yeah,
That
Yeah.
angle. Got to our gate. It was a disaster. I'm not gonna lie to you. I got chippy with some Texas fans because they got chippy with us, of course. And my favorite chippiness and argument I got into of the day was this kid behind me. He's like, "Oh, we're gonna kick your guys' ass." I was like, "Oh yeah, like, oh, that's cool. Like, we'll see what happens, whatever." And I was like, "Oh yeah, like, that's great. Like, your guys' roster is like, it looks all right." And he was like, "Yeah, we look good." I go, "Oh yeah, like, who's number one on your jersey?" He didn't know who number one was.
It's a big matchup. It's a big matchup of people who support a school but may have not gone there.
No, totally, which is fine. But most of the time, I would say a good amount of the time, Ohio State fans at least knows who's on their roster.
Mm-hmm.
So I was in line, and this, you're chippiness back and forth, and I turned around to this guy. I was like, "Oh yeah, like, nice jersey. Like, do you even know who that is?" And he was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Oh yeah, I go, "Yeah, who was it?" And he goes, "Oh, I don't know." I go, "Exactly. You don't even know your own roster, and you go to the school." He was wearing a blank number one fan jersey, like, didn't have a name on the back, like, nobody was on it, like, know your roster at the end of the day. Like, even if it's like
Yeah.
a fan jersey, be like, it's nobody's jersey. Like, it's just a fan jersey. Like, own up to it at least a little bit.
I will say, for someone who does know the roster very well, I did not know Jermaine Matthews switched his number until the pick. I did not.
That's fair.
I kept seeing 7 run around, and I was like, who the heck did they give number 7 to this year? It's not obviously Jordan Hancock. He's gone.
Right.
So I was very confused. And then I saw him. I think it may have been actually before the pick, but maybe the second or third defensive drive. I saw him running. I saw Matthews on his back. So then I was like, okay, like I didn't know he changed his number. But yeah, it was a crazy game. I think from my point of view, we went to game on, fun game, awesome game. Bunch of people at the backer bar, invited some friends, had a great time. The funny thing is, I feel like we were so locked in and the game was so defense. But later that night, Meg and I were just watching the highlights, and I was just watching them, and I was like, stepping back from that little bubble we were in, stepping back from being stressed all day, all weekend leading up to that. The game was not great offensively. It was a great defensive game, but it was an ugly game at times. And I think there was two sides of ugly. I think our side was a little conservative, was saying ran the ball a lot. I was very, very surprised with how poorly Peoples ran. I thought he was going to play a lot better.
They looked bad. Both running backs
10 for 20.
Bad.
Well, Donaldson looked a little better. I think he was like 12 for 67 or something in a tutty. But saying through and then I thought that I didn't love Jeremiah getting upset on that first drive. I didn't love that at all. And then the next drive, he drops 2 out of the 4 passes that come to him. I didn't like that at all. And Sayan had a great first half. I thought that Brandon Innish dropped, the Max Clare on 4th down drop. Jeremiah had 2 drops. So, there was a full handful of plays in the first half where Sayan
he did miss a read, though. Sayan did miss a read, though.
To Jeremiah deep?
Yeah.
He did, but it's not like he didn't. It's not like he threw a bad pass. That was a first down and more to Max.
No,
Clare,
yeah, no,
and he
I
drops
agree.
it. So there were some bad plays. Versus, I think the first half for Arch, I think he looked all out of sorts. I didn't think it's one thing to say if Arch was same thing. He was a freshman, came in, not a lot of experience. It's one thing. Arch has sat there for 2 years. He should have the fundamentals down. He should have his footwork down. He should have his arm strength down. He looks so out of sorts. And I don't know if it'll be my clutch moment of the week, but Matt Patricia, welcome to Columbus. What a moment for him to come in. I mean, the way everyone was talking about him, my own concerns, the fan base's concerns, I think that's a big deal because he called a fantastic game. Everyone was making fun. I've coached against Peyton. I've coached against Eli. This is going to be nothing. But he coached a phenomenal game. The defense was humming. I mean, 1 touchdown with 4 or 5 minutes to go. So nothing till the end. He coached a very, very good game defensively. Caleb looked fantastic. Every time I was watching Caleb on multiple plays, he would be away from the ball. The ball would be thrown to the other hash. Somehow Caleb was in the mix on the tackle. Caleb was involved in almost every play. My other takeaways I saw, Devin Sanchez, true freshman. He was on the field that last drive. That's a big moment for a true freshman, I thought. Pettijohn, he played special teams. He made a big tackle earlier in the game on special teams. The offense looked very conservative. Day made it clear. We weren't gonna unload the gun. We weren't gonna step on the gas. I think, to be honest with you, it's better off that way. I think winning that game the way they did gives you a lot of confidence going into Grambling State in Ohio. It gives you the chance.
Definitely.
Now, I love that we had the Nike no cupcake thing, but it's funny that we have 2 cupcakes now coming up. That being said, the cupcake, in my opinion, is deserved. They had Indiana, they had Michigan, then they won 4 straight playoff games, then they went to Texas again, then they had Texas again. 5 straight top 10 matchups, in my opinion. Right. And winning all 5, you earn your 2 cupcakes, in my opinion. So I thought it was incredible. I thought the offense looked good. The offense looked like it was just a little out of sync. I'm not putting the blame on Hartline or Day. I think it was a uniform decision throughout the program. We're going to keep the car going straight. We're not going to do anything crazy. We're not going to shift the gears. Let's play our game. Thought Sayan looked great. I do. I know his numbers might not say something. He didn't turn the ball over. The third down completion to Carnell was great. The touchdown to Carnell, I thought it was a great ball to begin to Carnell. I thought Carnell should have caught it the first time before he bobbled it. So incredible play there. A great game. Defense was incredible. I thought the defense, I really believe that defense was great. The offensive line, fantastic. We said it last week. We've been saying it for months. the injuries last year. It's not a good thing, but thankful for those injuries to give those guys that experience. They look like they've been playing together for 3-4 years versus the other side of the ball. They had 4 new starters, 1 returner, and their 1 returner had 2 or 3 false start penalties. I don't know how loud it was in the stadium, but on Fox it
was
seemed loud. And I know Fox
super
turns
loud.
I know Fox turns the stadium volume down, but it was loud on TV. I couldn't imagine how loud it was there. The disciples, I saw a video on Fox, like college football for Fox, looked loud, looked awesome, looked like a great environment, a great way to start the year. Ryan Day seems confident. Ryan Day seems ready to go. Patricia was good. Kicking was good. Like there wasn't many miscues, I thought.
Punting was bad.
Punting was bad at times, but when you needed a good punt at the end, that last punt
that was a great punt.
Fantastic. That was like a 60, 65-yard punt that was needed. I agree it wasn't perfect, but it was a good punt at that moment. So I do like that. I think there's a little more to grow. I think it's good. I think you get 2 more weeks to brush up on everything before you get into another conference game. So I think they're ready to go. I'm excited. It was a good way to start the weekend. Very fun way to start the year for the Buckeyes.
Definitely agree. It was a very good way to start. The atmosphere was just unbelievable. I mean, just right when you walk in the stadium, it was already loud. It's a lot of, OHIO chants. You're in the stadium. It was loud. I mean, I think the team looked really well. I think, obviously, like you said, we weren't going to open the whole can of worms because, didn't need to. Played a little bit more conservatively. I thought that was smart. Sane looked great in the pocket and, running when he needed to. Ball looked well out of his hands. Didn't really look that nervous. First drive was a little shaky, but, it was first drive in your own stadium against the number 1 team in the country. So obviously you're going to be nervous. I do think, Jeremiah getting frustrated kind of annoyed me. You can't really get frustrated like that, especially when you're probably the best receiver in college football. Obviously he dropped one opening week last year. And then he went off.
And then he didn't drop another. Didn't drop another,
Yeah.
but he dropped 2 game 1. And I know he had 45, 50 yards today, but they played good defense on him again. And I know Julian wants to get him the ball, but it's a situation where I think that, in my opinion, I thought the first couple drives, they could have done a couple more curl routes or a couple quick out routes, just getting him some confidence, seeing him go through the ball. Urban said it a couple times on the broadcast on Saturday morning and the day before that, get a couple first downs, give the kid some confidence. And I think that they did a pretty good job getting it. I think they had 1 or 2 first downs before they got stopped in the middle of the field. We did not. We went 3 and out. We went 4 and out. We went 4 out on 4th down. But, getting that little confidence, I think would have been big. I think now you can kind of move around. You can do stuff. Would love to see us. I still don't know why we run between the tackles, run to outside the tackles. I don't know why we haven't figured that out. Heartline.
Right.
Maybe, again, I'm giving Heartline benefit of the doubt. I'm giving Day benefit of the doubt. I think it was a safe game. Totally okay. Nobody's problem. It was a good game. Good win. Good win. No matter the score, it was 14-7. Didn't think it was going to be that low, but good win. We both predicted pretty low scores, but didn't think it would be that low. But great win. They're moving on to Grambling State this week. I think it's a 3:30 game. So it should be fun. Hopefully they get a chance to let it air out a little, move some things around, get people in motion, get active, play your game, start to experiment a little more. Find a way to get Lincoln Kineholtz in the game. That should be the goal. Find a way to get him involved. Find a way to get Jeremiah involved a little more. Find a way to get Carnell involved. Carnell is a great receiver who I think gets overshadowed by Jeremiah. Get him involved. Get Innes involved. Do your thing.
Get Max Clare back into his mojo.
Agreed. Hit a couple seam routes. Find ways to win ball games. A perfect start to the year. 1-0. Best thing about being 1-0, a chance to go 2-0. So Buckeyes, They roll. On to the next one. Other big games of the weekend. 3 top 10 teams, including Texas, lost this weekend. On the other side of Ohio State, I'm sorry. I'll say this first. I had no sympathy for Arch. I don't. I really don't.
Zero.
No sympathy. I know he's very humble. I know he didn't really talk a lot. Had a couple comments. He had the one comment, we have a red dot on everybody, not a red dot on us. And I blame the media. I'm not blaming Arch at all for any of that. The way we were talking about him, it was that he'd been playing for 3 years. And it got so bad that Longhorn fans were wishing for Quinn Ewers to come back while they were wishing him out last year, even in the playoff game, even during that playoff run. So Arch Lot to go. Lot to go. I think his Heisman odds went from 1600 or plus 600 to plus 1500 just in one game. So it should be interesting there. Across the country, though, some other big games. Obviously, the big upset of the weekend, Florida State over Alabama, a big win for Thomas Castellanos. He did talk that talk and did back it up against them. He dominated them. It could be the end of the Alabama era, the way everyone's talking. I'm
They're
not fully
over.
buying into that fully yet. They're still Alabama. They're still a great team, but a terrible way for them to start against a team that went, I think they went 2-10 or something like that last year. Florida State, they were terrible. So
Yeah, they're
Florida
bad.
State gets Castellanos a big win at home, a big win to open up the season, knocks off number 8 Alabama. Around the other top 10 games, Saturday night was it was a defensive weekend, I thought, for all the top 10 games. The defenses are much, much more ahead of the offenses. Clemson, they lose. Brian Kelly's first win at LSU to open up a season. Incredible win for them. They were down. They came back. Good win for them. Neither quarterback, like I said, played that well. So
Right.
very interesting
I
to see.
Yeah, I picked LSU to win that game. I picked last week when we were talking about it, I picked LSU to win. I was talking in a group chat with some of my friends back in California, and they were like, "Oh, who do you have?" Clemson, LSU. Carter being a Clemson fan, I said I have LSU. Their defense is better this year, and everybody in that group chat made a fool of me, saying, "Oh, you're an idiot. Like you don't know what you're talking about. Like their defense has been terrible." I go, "Okay, watch. I've been doing my research." Game's over. Group chat blows up. "Oh, Jake, you were right. Like you didn't. Like what?" I was like, "Obviously, I was right. I'm not gonna just bullshit you. I actually did
Yeah.
research on this team."
Right.
Um,
Yeah, no, it was a very interesting game. They won the Battle of Death Valley. They get to be Death Valley now. Big win for
yes,
them. A huge win for the Brian Kelly program. They're now
huge.
talking about LSU like they're going to win win the whole thing now. They have moved on from Texas's disaster and now they're on to a new SEC team on all the outlets. So that's
Yes,
certainly something to see.
Joel Klatt has LSU winning the SEC now.
Wow. I mean, it could
That's what he
happen. I
said this
mean,
morning.
yeah, it could happen. So very fascinating to see what happens. Last night, a huge, huge win for Mario Cristobal. I thought it was going to be a
Huge.
Cristobal collapse like we've seen many, many of times in his tenure there. It did not happen. They ended up
Did
winning.
not.
They did get it was 24-24. Uh, Marcus Freeman did bring the score back. That being said, they win the game. They finally get over that little hump. Last year, I think they lose that game. That's a big loss for Notre Dame, in my opinion. For some reason, they have a
Huge.
bye this week, which I don't understand how that's possible so early. Other than that,
Non-conference. They're not at. They're
I,
not in a
I don't know.
conference.
I don't know how that happens so early, but they have Texas A&M in 2 weeks, which, in my opinion, is must win for them. If they lose that game, really the only games left on their schedule with any sort of
USC.
impact would be Louisville and USC. Yep, those are the two games they would have left if USC is still around playing top 10, top 15 ball at that point. So it should be interesting to see. But I do believe that it's going to be something big. It's going to be a big game for them. They need to find a way to win that game because if they don't, they're a team with a conference with a not a conference a schedule this year where I don't know what their schedule is going to look like. I don't know if they can win out because Boise State lost. That's not even a good group of 5 anymore. If they go 10-2, what does that mean for them? And I really don't know. And it should be very interesting to see what happens to them.
No, it's definitely going to be interesting to see. I'm going to talk Miami side first, and then I'll flip back to the Notre Dame side. Miami looked great. I think Carson Beck looked back in full form. Obviously, I'm not a big Carson Beck fan, but I think he looked great. I think his elbow looked healthy. I think his, you know, viewing the defense was really good. I think that I wouldn't say it was a great pass, but the touchdown that he threw,
That was a great catch.
it was a great catch. It was a great catch. I wouldn't say it was a great pass, but no, they looked healthy. They looked strong. They looked like they were firing on all cylinders, and they looked really good. We'll see what they have in store for the rest of their year. Haven't fully touched on what their schedule looks like. But yeah, we'll see what happens there. On the Notre Dame side, though, they made a good comeback, looked good, but they couldn't hold on. And I think that they're going to need to play better football, especially in the after this bye week, to be in a position to possibly go back and go far in the playoffs again. I think that if they're not able to string together some, not only wins per se, in the sense of you have to destroy every team you play next. You
Agreed.
have to destroy every team you play next. Because let's say you go 11-1. Let's say you beat A&M, but you lose to USC. But USC's good towards the end of the road. Very unlikely, but let's just say for arguments, maybe you make the playoffs because you're 11-1 and you have a good win. You have a couple good wins. But if you lose to A&M and USC, which are very likely, especially the way they played last night, if USC is, in that certain situation, I think they are going to miss the playoffs possibly. I think that
I agree.
Marcus Freeman could be. I'm not going to say their team is possibly on a full, 180 full 360 turn from last year, but I don't think that they really are the same team they were last year. I think that new quarterback that they have is very good. I think he throws the ball well, but he's not Riley Leonard. He's a very different type quarterback. I think
It seemed like they were playing like he was Riley Leonard, though. They were running the ball a lot. It was very fascinating
they
to see them
were
play call. It looked like they were using the Riley Leonard playbook. It did.
scheme. I think they might have been. I think the thing that kind of killed them is they had or they had a few full starts and holding calls on big run plays. I don't know if you saw
They
that
did.
one play where
Yep.
Jeremiah Love
jumped up.
had the
big.
jumped up. Could have been. I think they were getting close to the goal line on that play. And
They were in the red zone. Yeah.
Yeah, they were in the red zone. Boom, flag. Pushes them back. Those things kill mojo, and I think they had too many mistakes like that. That killed their not only their confidence, but just the way that their mojo was rolling throughout that game.
Yeah, I mean they they have a very weird situation. I thought they did not use Jeremiah Love at all. I thought it was a very poor usage of using him. I really did.
They used the other guy. They used the other guy more.
I couldn't believe it. That being said, they like you said, they need to win. They need to win these games. Miami gets a huge win. They have a tough schedule, so it's a good win to start their year off. But it's going to be really fascinating, in my opinion, to see how Notre Dame handles itself. I think the defense is still very good. I think it's their strong suit as well, just like last year. I think some of their weapons are very good, but Marcus Freeman's a good enough coach where I did not think they were going to lose that game. I thought they still were going to ride that season and didn't. And it's going to be now they're on the ropes. And when you don't have a conference, that's usually the punishment. You usually have to win these big games, and that's what happens. And this is where we are. So should be really fascinating, in my opinion, to see how it works out. I hope that it does work out for the best, but I don't know. I don't know if it will. They're a team that should never miss the playoffs, and I think they will.
Totally agree.
If it happens. So hopefully it happens. But other than that, a lot of fun football. A lot of fun football. Some massacres. I saw USC kick the shit out of everybody. That was whatever.
Yeah, I mean there were some teams that really, obviously teams that made the playoffs last year that, had their kind of, as you say, cupcake game in week one, like most schools do. And they just kind of rolled over some of these teams. So, when the rankings come out, it's not going to be a surprise where some of these teams are ranked because, who they played. One thing that I am going to say, and I do agree with this take that he had this morning on his show, is I am very for, and I wasn't for it before the season started. I was very nervous before the game happened. Obviously, we won, so I'm a little more for it. But it makes it for more exciting. I am for the big matchups in week one. It's exciting. The atmosphere on campus was awesome. And I can't imagine what the atmosphere was like on all these other campuses, especially even in Miami. That was a Sunday night game. Sunday night, you're a college student. Obviously, today was Labor Day, or Monday was Labor Day. So, it's hard to possibly get fans to your stadium. But I thought they did a great job, too, with their fan base. I think I'm for these big matchups in week one.
I agree. I think it makes the sport better. I think it shows a lot of confidence. I really, really, really do enjoy how it's done. And I like that. I think it makes our season better. I know we have a big game this week. Obviously, the Oklahoma versus Michigan game is a big game,
Yep,
but
huge.
I think those are great for college football. Fans want to see that. I know it's tough to give your big game, and it's going to be a gamble. I'm upset that Ohio State got a noon game against an SEC team and Michigan against a night game against Oklahoma. I don't really love that, but I think it's good for the sport, and I hope teams keep doing it. So I'm very, very excited for
I
that.
think so too. Are we? Did we? I don't know. Tell me if I'm missing something. Did we go away from like these, kickoff classics or Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl
I
classics?
know,
Like, did
yeah,
we go
yeah.
away
So
from
we
that?
had,
Did I miss something?
yeah. I feel like we didn't have one this year. I feel like we have the classic of, um, we had the Ireland game, but we didn't have like the Texas Classic, which we was the USC like Bama game that's famous from a few years
Right.
back. We didn't have that, so it's truly going to be interesting. I don't know how it goes from there, but I'm excited for the sport. I'm excited for the year. It should be a great time. So college football is in a great spot. A lot of people were watching this weekend. I know right now we're recording this. The UNC, the Bill Belichick debut has just started. Welcome to Jordan. So it should be
Welcome to
fun. But
Jordan.
but now
Hashtag
college football
gold
week.
digger.
Yeah, yeah, getting that trademark. Yeah, we'll pay you out for that usage. But other than that, fun week of college football. We're now in the NFL. We start Thursday night in Philadelphia with a disaster in
Dun
Dallas
dun
coming to
dun
town.
dun.
Gonna be a fun time. What a week last week for the Cowboys. They trade Micah Parsons away to Green Bay for 2 first rounders and Kenny Clark. Um, I have issues with both sides. I think it's terrible to trade a player like that away. Um, and to the way they were doing it, we can stop the run now. I think I'm willing to give up stopping the run if you can just go out and spend money. They don't spend the money in free agency. That's the issue. And they're going to make this point where now we can pay everybody. Well, if you don't, they play Deron Bland. If you don't pay Tyler Smith, if you don't pay these guys that are coming up, young guys on a good team friendly
Ferguson.
deal, they paid Ferguson this this training camp. So they have to do those things. They have to start. If Jerry's going to say that, they have to do it. So I'm tired of talking about Jerry. I know that's not a full rant, but both sides were in the wrong. All three sides, and agent, player, and uh, agent, player, and Jerry and the Cowboys were all in the wrong. I thought. Didn't love anybody's opinion on it. It was an ego thing for everybody. Now you got to get your guys back. Sign George Pickens if that's your deal. Sign Tyler Smith. Extend more players. Go out. You have extra draft picks. Use those draft picks. I personally don't think the 2026 class is that great. Figure out a way to move up in the 2026
Caleb
class or go
Downs.
back. Yeah, but again, with Caleb Downs, the thing with Caleb Downs, I love Caleb Downs. He's a top 5 pick next year. I don't know if you can take a safety number 1. I believe he's top 5 pick. One, I don't believe the Cowboys will be bad enough to be in the top 5. B, the
We'll see.
Packers sure as hell won't be bad enough to be in the top 5 the next 2 years.
Very true.
So you have to do something. So whether either trade those picks, move up, grab Caleb Downs, or accumulate more picks, trade back, do the kind of stuff. Find a way to make those picks actually more valuable. If you end up in the top 10, if you're not going to get those main guys, get the picks, trade back, do something different, get more picks. So everybody's at fault. Obviously, Micah's back is somehow magically healed. So there's that. But it was a bad situation for everybody. Now the Cowboys are going into Philly. I think the fan base would have swallowed this a lot differently if it was during the draft, right after the draft, right before the draft. I think 1 week before the season starts is a kick in the nuts to the fan base, and a lot of people are upset about it. So should be interesting. I hope it works out, and I hope they're competitive. They're going to be coming from behind a lot. I'm doing a fantasy draft. I think I've been telling everybody, take a CD if you can, take Dak if you can. They're going to be coming from behind a lot, in my opinion. So they're going to be throwing the ball. They're going to be doing that. So I don't know. It's sad. I'm really bummed for Micah as a Cowboy fan. Maybe it works out. Maybe it doesn't. I've heard mixed reviews from all the analysts. I know they don't really know what's what anymore, but it's certainly something. So it should be something to watch, and I hope it works out. I hope it works out for the gamblers.
No, definitely. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was late to the trade. I was grocery
Mhm.
shopping when the trade happened. My phone. I was in the
Okay.
checkout. I was at Kroger, not on Shore North, off campus Kroger, um, getting groceries, and my phone just buzz, 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 and I'm like, oh my gosh, did somebody die? Like, what happened? I look at my
Right.
phone. It's like first tweet or first thing. It was Bleacher Report, and it was like, Cowboys trade Michael Parsons to Packers, and I'm like, oh my god. And the funniest thing to me that I think it's a little funny. Obviously, you're not gonna think it's funny, but the funniest thing is literally 2 hours before that, I'm walking on campus. I'm crossing the street, and I see Nick, my roommate, freshman year roommate, Packer
Awesome.
fan.
Yep. Packer fan.
And he texts me right after I text him, I go, Micah, exclamation point. And then he texts me, he goes, oh my gosh, just saw this. It must have been because I saw you while we were walking on the street. And he was like, you should tell
Maybe.
your brother that. And I was like, I probably will. So if that was my first reaction was, oh my gosh, I can't believe they just traded him away. Second reaction was, I'm surprised they didn't get more for him.
Okay.
I think you probably could have possibly swindled one more first rounder, if not a second rounder.
Yeah. Okay.
I think you probably could have gotten a little more from him. As we've said before, he's a generational talent. This guy, these players only come around every so often. And,
Mm-hmm.
I get he has a big ego, and I get Jerry has a big ego, and I get his agent has a big ego. But I don't get why. I think I get he was being a pain in the ass. But I still, at this time, obviously he's a dominant player. This is a guy you should have paid. This is a guy you should have paid. This is a guy who is one of your heart and souls of your team. Yeah, he complains a lot.
I agree.
But I don't understand why not pay him. And I understand that with the Wisconsin tax, he's only making 43 a year or 44 a year, which
Whatever.
is still,
Yeah, I saw
whatever
that.
it was. It's still more than he was going to make in Dallas. But I think it was a big mistake. I think Jerry really fucked up on this one, and I think it's really going to bite him in the ass.
I agree.
I think also
the thing with the picks and the thing with players, the thing that makes it hard,
they don't
for me
pan
to be
out
like,
most of the time.
Yeah. The thing is, you're taking a gamble on like, oh, I wonder how these two picks will do. Like, you're guessing. You're guessing that someone's going to work out. You're guessing that it's going to be a good player. You know what Michael Parsons brings. You know what he can do. You know how he can play. So it's truly
Totally agree.
Totally bad. The only counterpoint I have on like more players, more picks, the thing, in my opinion, which I think we weren't going to get, the two first are great. I was really hoping they got Rashawn Gary or Luke Van Ness. They got Kenny Clark. The thing that worked that I was not bummed about, but I understood was the reason we did get more. They did pay him $48 million a year. So when you're
Right.
saying, hey, we'll trade for this guy, but we're also going to give up $48 million of our cap space, then that to me makes me realize that I'm not like too worried about it. Like I think in my opinion that it's not a big deal. I think they don't need to do that. Like I don't think they need to completely overpay it because I think
Sure.
because I just think that when you're paying that much, like you're not going to overpay that way. I really don't.
No. But I think
So
I think it was a big mistake, obviously. Now let me ask you a question. I was talking to Mom about this the other day. Do you have a Parsons jersey?
no, just a jersey. I have like a jersey.
Okay, just a jersey. Okay, I just wanted to make sure. That would have really sucked, especially. I know most of the time it's DH, but I know with the Cowboys you usually buy something that's actually
Mm-hmm.
real.
Yeah.
So thank God you don't have a real jersey. That would have really sucked. But no, yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's not good. Like all the Cowboys gear I have now is nobody's on the team. Like I got Zeke, I guess I have I don't even have my Dak t-shirt. That's old. Like I don't even have the Dak t-shirt anymore. So like
Right. So
yeah,
it's all old
not
players.
good.
Mom said if you did have a jersey, you should just start buying old players. Aikman.
I
Emmett
definitely
Smith.
would. I do have to start doing that. That's the thing. Like that's why I did buy Jeremiah like this year, but I bought Sawyer. I'm going to start buying older players, especially in the transfer
I
portal,
agree.
especially in NFL. Like I cannot do current players with today's day and age. So
Exactly.
yeah.
No, I totally agree. But no, yeah, I think the trade was a big shock. I was shocked. I'm sure Roberto sent you some fun tweets and texts.
Yep, him and Caden
After,
definitely did.
and I'm sure Bino also got in on that too.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
so
no,
you
it's
definitely
no
got
fun.
the heat of it for sure.
It's no fun. I'm not excited for it. Yeah, it was not cool. Not cool at all. I'm not excited for it. I'm not happy about it, but that's so life is. So whatever that happens.
As a wise man once said, you might know him as Frank Sinatra.
That's life.
That's life. That's
That's
life.
life.
Move on. Look ahead to Thursday. Let's jump into it right now. Thursday. Are we at the
At
link
Philly.
or
Yep, at the link.
yep at the link? Looking ahead. What do you got? Looking ahead, obviously, besides the
It's going to be
blow.
high scoring. I think it's going to be high score. I think it's really going to be high scoring. I really do believe that. I think it's going to be truly something to watch.
Do you think the odds are in your guys' favor that they're unveiling the banner?
No, no, I don't.
Hmm.
I,
That's
I
fair.
don't like our,
I
I
just
don't
wanted to
like
know
our
your
odds.
take.
I think we are going to be. I think it's going to be rough to watch. I think hopefully the team is ready to go, but yeah, it's going to be something. They better come ready to go. I hope the offense is ready because it's going to be an offense needed game. You have a lot of young guys on the team. It looks like Trevion Diggs might play. Guyton looks healthy, so that's good. But I'm not excited for. I mean, I'm excited, but it's I'm repping the crew neck, I guess, right now. But I wasn't. I'm definitely not stoked about all of this.
I'm sure. I'm sure you're not stoked about it, but I'm sure Are you going to be watching the game at home? Are you going to be working on
Probably
Thursday? What's the
probably at home. I have a training the rest of the week, so I'm in the office a lot. But then I get home probably around like 6:37. So the game's
Oh,
at 8.
perfect. You'll be there by game time.
Yeah, I'll be there by game time. Lucky me.
But at least you're at home. You can yell, you can scream, you can throw things.
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
not
I
at
can get
least
myself. Yeah,
you
yeah,
can really get all riled up. But
right.
yeah, what else you
But yeah,
got
so
on the
it's
NFL side for me?
other than that, let's look around the league. I know the Chiefs Chargers game is going to be crazy. That one's a
That's a
Brazil game. I'm pretty
Friday, right?
sure. Is that the Brazil game? Yeah, I think it's
Yeah,
Friday. Yep, Sao
Friday
Paulo.
at
That'll
like
be a good game.
5:30,
Yep, 8 o'clock.
like
No, eight
that.
o'clock.
Oh, 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock Eastern. Other than that, nothing too crazy. Bengals Browns always a fun one for obviously
Hawks
people who know.
Niners.
But yeah, so Hawks Niners. What do you think about that game? Sunday Night Football is a good
Sure.
one. Ravens Bills obviously.
Oh, Ravens Bills is a good one.
That'll be a great Sunday night game to start the season. Texans Rams will be a fun game with two good teams. And Lions Packers. It's a good week one slate.
Good
But
first slate.
Niners Seahawks. What do we think?
Niners Seahawks. I'm excited. First things first. I want to touch on it. I've been talking about it for weeks. The new jerseys are out. Mixed feelings. Couldn't really tell if they were gray or white when they first came out.
Okay.
The filters were kind of playing with my eyes a little bit, but I think they're cool. I don't know if I'm going to buy one right away. I might want to see them on field first before I buy
Okay.
one. It'll definitely be a DHgate purchase. Shout out
Okay.
them. But no, I think they're cool. I think the whole collab with Nike was very good. Every team is going to get one at some point. I wouldn't say we have the best one. I think the best uniform of that collab was the Bills with the all white, but also rough for the T-shirt. I don't know if you saw it. Not going to say it well on air, so we don't get canceled. But take a look at yourself when you have a chance. Look
the
up
Seahawks.
Bills.
The Seahawks. Oh,
No,
I
the
did
Bills.
see it. Yeah, below. Yeah, it was below.
Yeah. Below. So that was bad. But no, back to the Seahawks. I think jerseys are good. But ready to go for week one. I'm excited. I've been waiting a while for Seahawks football to come back. Obviously excited to see Sam Darnold and Cooper Kupp get ready to go. Obviously ready to see Kenny and Sharp in the backfield. See our defense come back into play. I think let me just double check this real quick. Oh, at home to start the year too. Beautiful. Love it. Home game at Lumen at 1 o'clock game Pacific, 4 o'clock Eastern. So that'll be good afternoon football for me. I'm excited. I can't tell you if we're gonna really. I'm gonna hope. I'm gonna pick us to win. Week one at home, loud stadium. Obviously new quarterback behind center, but I'm gonna still take us to win. Defense is going to have to continue to stay strong. The O-line is where it really needs to really hold up. O-line has always been kind of an issue. But I think the thing that I'm very excited to see is our new OC. Excited to see the new OC. Excited to see what he has in store for us. Obviously, him and McDonald going to work well together, hopefully. Offense, defensive mind together. Just kind of ready to see Seahawk football back into business. Excited to just be back into the NFL season. Obviously, fantasy football is back. But no, excited for Seahawks football. Hopefully, we can pick up the W. And I win a free chicken bowl from Ari. So the bet is back on, as is every matchup between the Seahawks and Niners. Tiki Yaki Bowl on the line. So hopefully I can get my first Tiki Yaki Bowl of the year.
Nice. Yeah, no, it'll be very fun. Excited for football to be back. Obviously Red Zone. We got all of it going on this week. Should be fun. What do we got? Let's give a quick Super Bowl prediction. This will end the NFL segment with this. What would you got?
Super Bowl prediction.
No prep, no thinking. What do we got?
No prep on the line. You know what? I think he's gonna finally get there. I got the Baltimore Ravens versus the You know what? I'm going to say it. Baltimore Ravens, Washington Commanders.
Wow. That would be something. The Maryland
Shout out
matchup.
Jake Lopez.
That'd be something. Okay. Yeah, that would be something. I'm going to go with, I still think to be the king, you got to beat the king. I think he's got a lot left. It's going to be the Chiefs again. It's going to be the Chiefs.
And
I think it's going to be a Shohei situation. I think it's going to be Chiefs, Packers in the Super Bowl.
Oh no, Chiefs, Packers. That would be terrible.
I think it's going to be Chiefs, Packers in the Super Bowl, rematch of Super Bowl I. I think that's what's going to happen. So I'm calling that now.
If it is that, should we move the Super Bowl to the Coliseum?
Yes. If it is that, they should move the Super Bowl to the Coliseum. I would agree. I think that's a good idea.
But I think that'd be fun. Change it up.
Yeah, it'd be fun. Nobody's filling that stadium anyways. But should be a good time. I'm excited. A lot of good football. We're loving it. We're here. NFL, we made it. We got a couple more days of work, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Thursday. I think from Thursday till like next week, we just go back to Tuesday, Wednesdays, like not having football anymore. So that'll be great. A lot of fun football to watch. A lot of exciting times. Definitely excited for that. Now, after NFL, after college football, we're going to do a quick ad read and kick it to our sponsor for Clutch Moment of the Week. Our Clutch Moment of the Week is brought to you by Shore Metals, serving Southern California since 1970. Big enough to serve you and small enough to know you. See Stan, he'll help you out. Jake, what do you got? Clutch Moment of the Week.
I got 2 clutch moments of the week this week, and number 1 goes out to the Ohio State student who was on College Game Day, who did the Pat McAfee field goal kick. Absolutely nailed it right down the middle.
Great kick.
Said he had kicked before for fun. His brothers are kickers, and he would go out there just for fun and kick.
He got hustled. I think Pat got hustled.
Pat might have gotten hustled, but clutch moment for him for playing a good act. $250K. That obviously money can go a long way. Probably paid for the rest of his school, and if there's any left, has a little bit after. So that's first clutch moment of the week. Second clutch moment of the week goes up to tight end Will Kazmarek for being able to hold off the Texas DN for almost the entire game.
Incredible.
And on one of the plays, he was able to hold him off for so long that led to a Julian Sayin to Carnell Tate touchdown to put the Buckeyes up 14. Put them up 14-0. That was awesome. Just shout out him. Like, that's exactly what you want to see out of a tight end. Not only be able to run routes, catch passes, but be able to, body some, D linemen and, block and protect your quarterback. So shout out him.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. It was a massive block. Great to see Colin Simmons having trouble all week after finding his target or whatever the hell he said. So that was certainly something. But great game from them. Great kick on College Game Day. It was all over. For me, I'll do 2. I'll do what was I saying before that? I said Thomas Castellanos. I was talking a lot of crap about him. Didn't think he was good. Talking his talk, and he did it. So respect to him for Florida State winning that game. Huge win for Mike Norvell. And my second one, we'll just give it up to the guy of the weekend, Lee Corso. Ends his weekend 6 for 6 on picks. Picked all the schools he coached at. He hit them all on the nose. Incredible weekend for him. The band doing Lee Corso was awesome. Every moment was it. Hearing the history, the Brutus cake. I don't know if you saw that.
Awesome Brutus cake. Yep. Hyde Park.
Cool.
Shout out
the
them.
steak looked great, but the Hyde Park cake looked awesome. I'm glad they didn't really do a celebrity picker. I'm glad they did their own thing. Fun group. Awesome time. Gonna be different without him. Obviously now no headgear. They're retiring that, they said. So gonna be fun. But shout out to him. Shout out to all our people. Big weekend of clutch moments all over football world. So shout out to them. Now though, we're gonna kick it to outside the line.
Finishing off with outside the lines. Starting off with everybody's favorite tone deaf person of the week. Michael, who's your tone deaf person of the week?
Tone deaf person of the week himself, Paul Feinbaum. What a week for him. Texas is going to run him out of the building. Alabama's going to crush Florida State. What a terrible, terrible weekend for him. Embarrassed. I think his tweet had like 2 million views that he posted for his Monday show, his radio show. He was like, here's the phone number to call in. I know you guys want it. Embarrassed on Alfred. Somehow, some way, though, now ESPN is all in on LSU, and they think Ohio State won't be the number one overall team in the AP poll, which would be actually hysterical. So pretty wild. But Paul Feinbaum, you continue to amaze me how dumb you are. I love it. You're an idiot. Awesome. Glad he was proven wrong. So that's my tone deaf person of the week.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump on that same wavelength with you. All the OSU doubters. A lot of people on Twitter, a lot of people Instagram, Twitter. I even saw on Snapchat people were doubting that Ohio State was gonna, even be able to contend. Everyone thought, Paul Feinbaum thought they were gonna, murder us, kill us. It wasn't even gonna be close. Obviously, you and I's one of our least favorite person, Desmond Howard, picked Texas to win. Obviously, wrong, of course. Dave Portnoy chooses Texas to win.
He chose Ohio State. He chose Ohio State because he said we can all agree the SEC sucks. But we had to deal with his little charade show.
We had to deal with him. So kind of a doubter at the same time also. There was just a bunch of doubters. The Texas fans were just like, obviously, there were a bunch of assholes. They were doubting us the entire week, all over Twitter, all over every social media platform. And they were wrong. They were wrong. They're wrong, and
Agreed.
I'm also going to call out the Twitter people who were dogging JJ. I'm sorry, he's the best receiver in the country. He's obviously going to be double coverage, triple coverage. Yeah, he drops 2 passes. Whatever. Get over it. The guy is going to possibly win a Blintikov this year, and it doesn't even matter. He's going to go out on Saturday and probably have 2 or 3 touchdowns. Like, it's going to happen. Yeah. It was one game. Get over it. He dropped 1 pass last year. He was the best receiver in college football last year. So I think fuck all those doubters, fuck all those haters on Ohio State sports. I think we're going to come out and play our game on Saturday and do our thing. Obviously, we don't listen to the media. We do our thing. I think just pivoting kind of with it is Ryan Day handled the media very well with it.
Agreed. I was going to say that it wasn't maybe not a clutch moment, but just the way that the whole program was attempting and the way they were talking was just so unison. We're one team. Awesome to see the guys coming back for the ceremony and everything. We had a lot of alumni players there.
Awesome.
JTT's on the sideline trying to help. JTT's on the sideline. I saw who's my boy? Oh, Latham Ransom. He was there. Travion was there. They obviously panned to him. I know you were at the game, but at the 2-minute at the last drive when we took the QB sneak just to get out of our end zone a little going into the half, they showed Travion. They're like, I don't know if we'll see that today, but this is what happened, something like that. But it was very cool seeing those guys on the sideline helping.
Willie H.
Will was there. Will Howard. His girlfriend was making it seem like he was like a little kid at an Ohio State game, which I thought was super funny. But other than that, fun weekend. Great time. Right and wrong side though. I'll start us off. Right side, awesome time at the Backer Bar. Great time with friends. Everybody, Meg's friends, other residents, some of my friends from work. Obviously, people that were Ohio State fans when you're from college. Great time. Awesome time. Super fun. I hope to go back there this week. I think we got something else planned, but going to go back, obviously, for the big games. Should be a fun time. Wrong side on the Buckeye landscape. I don't know. Haven't said anything. I worry about Kenyatta Jackson. I don't know what happened there. I know he got hurt. He didn't come back in the second half, so wondering what happened there. Also, wrong side. I thought it was a good idea to schedule training to have an easy week after Labor Day. Now I got training for 3 days. I'm regretting it now. So a little bit of a future I thought right side, but now it's a wrong side. So that's my right and wrong side. How about you?
Yeah, training, that's brutal. But glad you had a good time at the Backer Bar. I'm glad nobody's ID was taken. So that's good.
Yeah.
Right side for me, obviously, being on campus for the win was awesome. Stayed the entire time. Stayed for Carmen. I made sure uh, Carter's little sister Carly had her first W with the stayed the whole time. I wanted to make sure she got to see Carmen as a student because it's a completely different vibe as a student. Right side,
Absolutely.
obviously winning. Also, right side, just Seahawk football's back. I can't wait.
Okay.
You know me, I'm crazy about my Seahawks. So I'm just excited to, blood, sweat, tears, laugh, cries, upsets about them. And just excited. Another right side is, it's, on Wednesday those will come out, and boom, a couple more days later, Buckeye football's back. Like we're in the swing of things where you get a game every week. So just excited that Buckeye football is finally back in full swings. And yeah, wrong side. I had some computer tech issues. Yesterday I was trying to do a couple assignments and my computer just kept freezing on me. So wrong side
Brutal.
computer tech issues. Figured it out though, so should be okay for the week of school.
Yeah, that's a tough first week. Never want to have the issues like that in the first week, but glad it's all fixed now. Glad
Oh,
everything's
also
done.
second wrong side. Second wrong side. First week of school. First week of school. Didn't read the email well enough for Tuesday, first
That's what you
class of the
said.
year.
That's what you said. It canceled.
Class canceled. So
Brutal.
it was all right, but wrong side on that for getting all ready to go on time and getting there 10 minutes early, and then figuring out that there were 20 people also with me and we all had to walk out because it was canceled. But that's all right. Semi right side.
Yeah. No, very fun. I'm very excited. Glad we're back. We're doing the thing now. We're in the mix. So it should be very, very fun. Glad everybody's happy. Glad we're all doing that. Glad you're back at school. Glad it's going well. Buckeye action. Buckeye football is in full swing. NFL is about to start. Great time. Keep doing your thing. Hope everyone had a great Labor Day. Thank you guys for listening. Happy Wrong Side Wednesday, and we'll see you next week.
Stay blessed and go Bucks.